Hello, the game has started and it's me to go first. I have pretty average rack. I think band is fine. And yeah, I'll have a P on the rack. Just realized the sound wasn't on. So welcome to the game. I've started with Vand and my opponent is about to respond. Not a bad second rack. Don't see a bingo here. Prol is good, and Perol through the A. Can I get any value from the V? Not seeing anything great through the V. Opponent yet to make his first move, and he plays axing. Now axing would take an R front hook, so maybe a play that incorporates the B and the P and the R. Laxing. So prol. What about prol? Yeah, that's... Now, I've still got the B on the rack, which is not the greatest tile for bingos, but the B and the M a little bit clunky together. There is an E to play through here. Opponent bingos and takes the lead. I have Berm, B-E-R-M, but just wondering if there's a bingo through the E. I think Imbruted might be good, but there's no floating U to play through. This U just one square too far to the left. The EN, possibility there too. Timbered. What about timbered? That could definitely be a thing. And it is. So glad I didn't rush into playing Berm. Not a bad pickup. A little clunky with the F and H, but not a bad rack all in all. Fathering through an R and an I. That's unlikely to present itself as an opportunity. Now, my F and my H do play next to this E, and my H, well, it no longer does, but Yogi takes a C, so I need to be wary of that. Now, what about an ing ending word? Not seeing a bingo ending in ing. do have heft here. Now, what about F for 34? That's not terrible. Column B, nothing great there. What about fight? 40. A little bit volatile, but for that score, it's worth the risk. Okay, I've drawn the C for yogic, but the rest of the rack vowel heavy, so not seeing great options here. I have A in the bottom right. Ouch. Opponent scores 53. And takes the lead. So my C plays above. That's 26. That's 16. What about een? Because I can play my C above HE with an E and something else perhaps. $16. Quite a few E's to come. 4 A's, 4 I's. Wow, what to do? No 5 vowel 8, perhaps. $18 there. I thought I had Abaca, but I've only got 2 A's, not 3. I'm going with this 18. Not a good pickup. And not seeing great options. I have ounce. Don't see a great spot for ounce. Don't want to be playing it next to the T, that's no good. Bown. E-bon, but it's any value from the V. Homie, okay. Now I've got each here. Don't see much better than each. Can I get rid of another vowel? Not that I can see. I'm going with each. That's a little bit better. taken through a T. Any T's available? Nope. Opponent's bingoed, so I'm a bingo behind here. Pity I don't have a D for Doek, D-O-E-K. That would have been nice. Is there definitely no bingo here? Not that I can see. Now, what about Orc? That sorts the rack out. 30. E2 is no good, obviously. What about I'd have to play the A there, so that's not going to work. Okay, what about... No, I need to score more with this K. Pity I can't play it under the C. What about Oak? I don't mind if opponent... Boke is good, that would be silly. Maybe just... gee. I want to... Bauk. Yeah, that's the one. 32. Ouch, pick up the Z. I didn't plan on doing that. Now, pity I don't have a play with the Z ending at D1. But I still could play ZA across the top. CZAR. That's where it... Czar. That's a shame. RI, no good. Now, ZAS something. That would be huge. That's not going to work. Kaz is good. C-A-Z. Opponent plays cat. What to do with the Z? Bit low on time. Homies and sits. I don't have an S. So what about just the ZA? Fez. If I was to play Fez, that would sort the rack out pretty much as well as I could hope. I'm just going for a 44 pointer here. Fanciest through an I, or look at this K here. Just the one vowel. Well, two if you count the blank. But look at the scores, neck and neck. I've got fast and fights. But is there a bingo through the K? I have infects on my rack. Is laxings a word? It's still... No, it won't fit. It would have to end ST. Fancist. Fancist. I don't think Lexings is a thing. Might be. But infects, what a shame that doesn't work. Now, his opponent, look, there's still a second blank unseen. So this could go either way. I think fast is, in the interests of playing fast, I think this is a pretty good move. Not a bad rack leave. C and the K have synergy, and V and C, well, advancing, yeah. So I quite like fast. Yeah, I'm gonna play fast. Wow, okay. Is a opponent about to bingo? And if so, where? I've got Windsor's, crewing. What about this P? Nope. W and the C don't go fantastically together, but Wincher, venue, but that leaves a couple of floaters for opponent. What about a wick word? I can't play ing after the K anymore. Rickon, no. Rick is a word, but wetan. Witan with the I, or is it? Yeah. I'm low on time, so I've got to be fairly swift on the next move, but I just can't see a bingo. There must be one here. I have the over prefix, but nothing going there. Venue. Oh, Yuko. Okay, opponent. See, unless he starts with. If he plays through the V. If I get rid of this W, I'm in a very strong position to bingo next turn. Do I just play the W here? Reach and rue. One R to come. Reach and rue. Maybe I should do this for 20. But the R is really good on the rack anyway, so do I just hang on to the R and play the W off here? For 9. Tempting. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for the bingo. Wow, okay. Over nice. Over nice is a thing, but what about the P? And is there a bingo through the X? Something ending in ER. So there's definitely a bingo from the P. I just have to identify it. Pericon, Okay, opponent's provided an A. So if I can bingo, I should win, or an L, but the A, actually either or. He has 7 tiles left, so creatine, that'll do it. Creatine for 68, and that's the end of the game. So 442 to 402. Thank my opponent. Let's see what we missed. So Vand seems fine from the opening rack. And then opponent had axing for 29. Bowler I had on to the A. Okay, 31. Oh, parallel to axing. That's why the score's so high. Yeah, that was a miss. I should have spotted bowler. Got to brush up on the 4s. Mind you, I did score 28 for Prol. Geniuses 71 was the only... unisexes was the other one. There were 2 bingos. And now Timbered for 82 looks fine. Yogi for 29 was best for opponent here. Then Fight was best for 40. Judah's best for 53. Now Nash through the H. Getting some parallel action next to Timbered. N-A-C-H-E. Not a great rack leave, but pretty decent score. I was more concerned with rack balance at this stage, but for 30 points I'd be happy to suffer the vowel heaviness of the leave. So I went with AIA. Ab-Ohm for 40 would have been a nice score for opponent onto the trip. Homie, and then each for 27. I just felt I needed to take out the hotness of this lane with the scores so close. Opponent could easily have scored 40 points there, and then I'm a bingo behind roughly. So yeah, Cooley through the L, getting value off the X. As good a rack leave as you can expect with that type of score. So that's quite a nice play. Coupe as well. Through the P, but yeah, like I say, still happy to have taken out the H, the trip lane. But look at this, ecumene. That's quite nice. Where's that? Through the M. Getting the C doubled. Ecumene. But then you're giving opponent even more chances of a 50-point play. As it happens, opponent did have a number of bingos playable here, and plonks planar down. Unoaked. I had a feeling I was missing a bingo here. A4. Up roll. Totally overlooked the front hook for Prol. Unoaked. Look at that for a monster 92 points. Wow. That was... unoaked is a word that I have seen before. Untimbered for 38. That's not bad either. getting a value of these letters doubled, and a pretty okay rack leave. Bauk, not terrible as far as options went. Chi for 24 at 1E. Now, why did opponent not play Chi up there? Cat for 17. And now Tsar for 44, but Fritz using the blank at 6J. Homia and Fritz. Well, that's pretty much a bingo score, but nah, I prefer 44 with that leave. You can see the equity. But Fez, 3G. Fez for 41. That's not bad with CAN blank. That's quite nice. Yeah, I do like Fez. So, Tsar not terrible though. And then opponent had right for 29, went with Auri. Fast for 46 was best. And Nefast for an extra 6 points. Ulyi for 36. That would have put opponent a little bit ahead. He went with Yuko. Winner for 27. Playing alongside Laxing. But no, that can't be best. Opponent then bingos on to winner because he has the blank, the other blank. Yeah, I don't know about winner. I really wanted to give myself the best possible chance of bingoing either through the V, from the P, or through a floater, because I felt opponent was likely to bingo and pretty much did need to bingo at this stage unless he had a 40-point play somewhere in which he could go out in 2 moves, which was unlikely. So he kind of needed to bingo, and these were the options. Revivals was the highest scoring one. 7 in the bag. So from his perspective, he can't play. Well, he could have just played off the V. I mean, he had to assume that I was very close to bingoing as well, either from the P or through one of his floaters. So I wonder if he maybe just played the V off somewhere and then put the ball in my court regarding bingoing through my bingo. So he could have played div. If he plays div there, but then I bingo onto div, and he can't really bingo through my floater. But he could perhaps bingo from the P with a very flexible rack of AEILR blank and one of these letters, none of which are clunky. The B would have been a poor pick for him. But, yeah, interesting. Wonder what the best option for him would have been. And here, as you can see, a million bingos to choose from. Quite a few. Pinsard was Pisana. Persines, yeah, there were quite a few from the P as well. Pencilla. And quite a few through the floaters as well. So that was the end of the game after creatine. And yeah, a few misses in that game, but all in all, a good one. Hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.